So let's do the chanting right away. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, about to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, about to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, about to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, about to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata gati gati para samgati buddhisoha. Tayata gati para samgati buddhisoha. Tayata gati para samgati buddhisoha. Okay, so now time for a little bit of meditation. So get yourself comfortable, and we will release the tension in the body. So bring your focus, your mind inside your body. And starting from the bottom, we will release the tension as we work the way up to the top. So releasing the tension from all around your toes, the top of your feet and the bottoms of your feet, the balls, the arches, the heels, around your ankles and Achilles tendons. And just a reminder as well, try to keep your body still. Don't move around. This will help you keep your mind still. So releasing from the lower part of your legs now, calf muscles, shins, and all around your knees. And your upper leg, quads, hamstrings, and around your midsection. Your glutes and hips, groin, and your lower abdomen, stomach, your sides, your lower back, and up to the middle of your back, up your sides a bit, and further up your abdomen. And release from all around your chest, underneath your arms, and the upper back, the rhomboid muscles, lateral muscles, to the upper trap muscles that are between the neck and the shoulders. And also release from your shoulders and upper arms, biceps and triceps, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers and thumbs. And up to your neck, the front of your neck, sides and back. And also release from the back of your head, the sides of your head, around your ears and temples, and from all around your face, around your cheekbones, cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Lips gently touching, tongue resting on the upper palate and the mouth. So release from your chin and your mouth, your nose, sinuses, eye sockets, eyes. Make sure you're not frowning. So releasing any tension you may have in your forehead. And the crown of your head. Now briefly scan again your body from the bottom to the top. And if there's any leftover tension, release it. And now you can bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially. And the object of the meditation is the breath, or more specifically, the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out in your nose, all the way into your lungs and back out your nose again. You may notice that the air is quite cool when you breathe in as it passes your throat, and quite warm as you breathe out. You may also notice that the stomach rises and drops. As you breathe in, the lungs fill with air, they expand, and therefore the stomach rises. And then it drops as you breathe out, and the lungs compress as the air leaves them. Breathing in, breathing out. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 to 10. 1 in breath and 1 out breath is 1, and so on. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. These are just some extra details and extra technique to help us keep focused on our breath. In Pali, the name of the meditation is Anapanasati. Sati means mindfulness, and apana is the breathing process of the breath. So mindfulness of the breath. Also another word we can use is samatha, which means calm abiding. Mind abiding in calmness and tranquility. So as we practice, if any thoughts arise or any mental activity, don't cling to it or grasp at it or try to force it away or try to deny it. But just let it go naturally and simply as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up a bit, brighten it by refocusing on your breath more brightly. So physically, all you have to do, obviously, be here and breathe. Mentally, all you have to do is focus on your breath. And if your mind wanders, then replace it back onto the breath. Quite simple, uncomplicated. Not so easy to do because we are very distracted a lot of the time. Thought to thought to thought, so on. So our habit is to be distracted. That's why we have to make a bit of effort as we practice meditation to work towards developing this one-pointed concentration, or samadhi. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. Now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. We won't actually practice the forgiveness meditation as such, but bring to mind forgiveness as you fill yourself with universal loving kindness. Forgiving yourself for anything, forgiving others, others forgiving you, putting down any mental baggage that you may have. So fill yourself with this white light, your whole being with this white light that represents universal loving kindness. So we're engaging the visualization as well. But of utmost importance is the feeling of universal loving kindness. We feel it. Friendliness, harmlessness, respect and gratitude, appreciation, and so on. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows, radiates outwards, and radiates to your loved ones initially, family and friends. So the white light leaves your heart center, still fills your body, by the way. So this white light doesn't diminish, increases, just as universal loving kindness can, as we practice more. So the white light leaves your heart center and enters into the heart centers of the beings in front of you and fills them with the white light too. Have the wish that they are happy and free from suffering and are peaceful. Now also include strangers, those people that you may know just a little bit or not at all, or you can bring them to mind. Maybe there's somebody down the shop or walking, as when you walk in the daytime. Maybe you just see them a little bit, acknowledge each other or not. In other words, you're indifferent towards strangers. So fill them with the universal loving kindness as well, radiating this genuine loving kindness to them. Now also include those you may regard as enemies, and wish that all of these three types of people from your own perspective have happiness and the causes of happiness, free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering, and that they are peaceful. Now radiate beyond just human beings to all sentient beings now, initially around your immediate area, all the living beings that live on the land, under the land, fly through the air, live in the waters, whether born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation. Radiate this universal loving kindness, utilizing the white light, radiating from your heart center, entering into their heart centers. Filling their whole being with the white light, loving kindness. Throughout your whole state or county, to all the sentient beings there. And other states and counties throughout your whole country. And all of the countries throughout the world. Initially those you have an affinity towards, also those you're indifferent towards, and those you may have some negative feelings about. You also have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans and other bodies of water, and down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet alone, throughout the whole solar system. And galaxy. And universe, and throughout infinite space. So now for a brief period, we will switch techniques to the Tonglen, or giving-taking meditation. So bring to mind the bodhicitta intention, the great altruistic, compassionate intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings and help them to do likewise. To contemplate the suffering or bring to mind the suffering of others in samsara. So visualize all sentient beings, or imagine all sentient beings in front of you now. And when you exhale, breathe out, white light leaves your heart center and enters into their heart centers. It fills their whole being with the white light. So giving away all of your happiness, all of your merits, goodness, and so on, to them. Giving them happiness and the conditions that they need on the path to enlightenment and freeing yourself from attachment. As you breathe in, inhale, you breathe in the black smoke that leaves their heart centers and enters into your heart center and melts away, freeing them from suffering and destroying your ego, self-centeredness, your ignorance. So breathing in the black smoke, breathing out the white light. Let's practice like this for a bit. Once again, we can feel very pleased with ourselves for engaging in the practices. Working to develop our concentration, improve our concentration, increase our loving kindness and compassion, and develop the conditions, accumulate the conditions that we need to realize the supreme wisdom. So let's do the dedication. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So we will conclude the conclusions for Master Atisha's heart advice. We actually started on the 5th of April. And now what is it? So 6 months and 6 days later, we are finishing. I think hopefully you've enjoyed it. Along the way, I decided to teach in a certain way. Sometimes, picking a single teaching, working on that teaching just for the day. Other times doing a bunch of them. And so hopefully you got a lot from that. especially remembering the details and being reminded, as we've done over the last 6 weeks now, by having conclusions so that you can remember the details that we spoke about. But more importantly than just remembering the details, you put them into practice, put these teachings into practice. There's 47 lines or 47 stanzas within this teaching. That's 47 points you need to remember and 47 points you need to practice. Okay? And we should practice with humility, with good intentions, as we study, as we practice the Dharma. Part of practicing the Dharma is also sharing the Dharma, isn't it? Excuse me. So I'm not going to go through the whole teachings again. I did that enough, I think. But, remember, these include all of the Buddhist teachings, especially Mahayana teachings, so the 6 paramitas and so on. Also including the 4 immeasurables, includes the 7-point cause and effect method, where you appreciate all living beings as your mother and so on, and to develop this bodhicitta, but also to develop the renunciation, contemplating precious human life, contemplating impermanence, the law of karma, and the unsatisfactory nature of cyclic existence, to develop true renunciation. Therefore, developing the mind or helping your mind to be more conducive to realizing the bodhicitta or accumulating the bodhicitta, both the aspirational and the practical, the relative bodhicitta, eventually realizing the ultimate bodhicitta. So we're working our way on the path. If you think you already got there, maybe it's need to let go of the thinking. Because if we think, oh, did I get there already? Did I realize emptiness already? Already we are conceptualizing something, aren't we? And we're comparing ourselves. Let go of all that. Samsara is full of suffering on different levels, intensities, different types of sufferings. But basically, they can all be put into the 3 sufferings, dukkha dukkha, the suffering of suffering, so the everyday obvious sufferings that we experience. Then we have anicca dukkha, the suffering of impermanence, that all things are constantly changing. So even if we get something that is very pleasing to us, it changes. And then we have anatta dukkha, or anatman dukkha, which is the suffering of no self, but actually really means all-pervasive suffering, all-pervading suffering. So suffering, the whole of samsara is unsatisfactory. That's why we should contemplate the unsatisfactory nature of samsara and realize that we can free ourselves from this. So we have, 3 marks of existence, that all things are impermanent, have the nature of being unsatisfactory and have no self. And then, of course, to have another one makes up 4 seals. So there's 3 marks of existence, plus also nirvana is freedom from all of this. So we can free ourselves. We need to understand the law of karma, that if we engage in any negative actions of the body, speech, and mind, we will experience the suffering, cause suffering for ourselves. In fact, our suffering that we experience right now comes from actions that we engaged in the past. And if we engage in negative actions now, we will create the suffering into the future, unless purified. If we engage in wholesome actions of the mind and of the body and of the speech now, we will create happiness, good conditions for ourselves into the future. All of our good conditions that we have right now We have created these in the past. And of course, if we engage in actions that are neither wholesome or unwholesome, then we will experience the like results. So neutral equals neutral. So this is the same for every living being, and also the collective karma. Groups of beings experience similar, they've created similar causes and results in having similar effects. So for instance, of course, we don't want this, any of these types of things, but let's say a natural disaster. You've heard me give this example before. And let's say a natural disaster in a certain part of the world, maybe an earthquake, just to give you something. Everybody in that region experiences that earthquake. This is like the results of collective karma. But every individual will experience it differently. This is the results of individual karma and the results of the karma. Some people may not get injured at all. Some people may get badly injured. Some people may die. Some people may die quick death, not too much suffering leading up to that. Other people may be dying sort of a very slow death, very painful. Some people may get injured and it overtakes their mind. They go crazy with maybe lots of pain, mental pain, physical pain, and so on. Other people may get injured, but it may motivate them to help others. There's all of these different scenarios. I won't mention any more, but this is the results of individual karma. Then, of course, like I said, collective karma. All of those people in this example, in that region, experience the earthquake and experience the conditions this creates. But like I said, everybody experiences their own individual karma within that collective karma too. And of course, then contemplating impermanence, everything is constantly changing. It's in a constant state of flux. It's not as if, this minute, it's like this, the next minute's like that. Actually, it's moment to moment impermanence. You contemplate a flower, for instance. It may be a hot summer's day, windy day. In the morning, the flower has bloomed. It's plump, moist, full of life. But as the sun comes, the wind blows on it, then it slowly dries out, loses its vitality, and then eventually crumbles, becomes compost, part of the earth again, Everything's like this, constantly changing. Everything's like a flicker of a lamp. The life of a flower, a star at dawn, a dewdrop in the sun. And everything's like the changing of the tides, lightning in a summer cloud, a bubble in a stream, a phantom and a dream. And this is how we should think of this fleeting world. And of course, I'm doing this backwards, by the way. Precious human life, we have the great opportunity, okay? We have this great opportunity with fortunes and freedoms to practice the Dharma. So we should do it. Now I'll go back the other way again. But it's impermanent. So do it now. Don't wait. Understand the law of karma so that you make the right choices. You know what to adopt. You know what to abandon. You know to engage in wholesome actions. You also know to accumulate merits, accumulate the good conditions that you need on the path. And you know to abandon unwholesomeness. And of course, like I said, samsara or cyclic existence is riddled with unsatisfactoriness. So this should motivate ourselves, motivate us to practice. Develop this renunciation Renounce the world, turn your mind to the Dharma, develop this great compassion, this great altruistic intention, bodhicitta, and work your way to realizing and uncovering the wisdom of emptiness and unveiling your Buddha nature. How are we doing for time? Less than 4 minutes. So yeah, I was going to read this thing out to you again, but I think I've done it enough. And we went through it like 6 months and more. It's taken us to go through it. So I think if you need to be reminded, if you didn't print yourself a copy, then go to the YouTube channel and have a look at a few classes. And especially early on, I'd say I would have read it out a few times. Don't know. I think only maybe once or twice in its entirety, but okay. And put it into practice. Like I said, all of these teachings that I'm giving you, that I'm sharing with you, put them into practice. It's really important. And don't hang on to the past, especially negative memories of the past. Remember the old saying, the past is only good to learn from, or something like that? Other than that, it's already gone. Future is not here. Don't plan too much for the future. It's fine to plan. Obviously, you need to plan a little bit. Like, for instance, if you're going to have some dinner, you need to make sure you have the ingredients for that meal that you need to prepare. Things like that. That's just a very simple example of planning. But don't attach to the planning. If the plans don't come or don't eventuate, don't come to fruition, then if you are clinging to it, you could get upset about it. Let's say if you're looking forward to having a really nice curry or something, and then you realize, I have no curry powder. I have no fresh curry. Then you just have to have something else. So don't attach to the curry. Don't attach to anything. We're actually having a very simple dinner today. I do all the cooking, apart from when Mum wants certain things, has sometimes fish or meat. I wouldn't know how to cook that stuff. But I do all of the cooking. But today I'm having a day off, and we're having baked beans from the can. So just on toast, basically. So I decided to give myself a day off cooking today. I didn't feel like having the salad that I prepared yesterday, coleslaw and stuff like that. So not attached to the coleslaw, not attached to the curry. We've got 1 more minute to go. So I just actually, for a change, saw the clock counting down. So yeah, like I said, encourage you to practice. And I rejoice in your efforts to study and get to know the Dharma. I rejoice in your practice of the Dharma and sharing of the Dharma when you do that. It's very important to keep the Dharma alive and also to keep it pure. Have good intentions, So when we hear the Dharma, just do that. When you contemplate the Dharma, just do that. When you absorb your mind with the Dharma, just do that. I rejoice, and I rejoice in the rejoicing. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. See you next week.